Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Peridiam. Big Brother 21 is in its early throes, and yep, we're back, baby. You feeling grateful yet? For those out of loop who didn't watch my last season video, for the past 7 seasons since Big Brother 14, after the first week of live feeds, full live feeds, I like to sit down and assess the cast and make an attempt to pick the 4 players who I believe stand the best chance to win the latest season of Big Brother. Not to say this is going to be the final 4, I call these 4 players the true contenders, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but mostly because from my experience watching Big Brother, particularly live over the years, it usually dawns on me early on that at least half the cast doesn't stand a chance to win the season whatsoever. Even if technically everyone is in contention to win by virtue of them still being in the game, you have a pulse? I guess you have a chance. Like an unspoken truth, an unwritten rule, generally after you've watched enough Big Brother, you start to realize there's really only a few people that are contending for the win. Everyone else is background noise, just wondering if bitches are conspiring against them or not.
You bitches conspiring against me?
And I'm like, not about that.
You bitches are conspiring against me, aren't you? Bitches conspiring against me.
Everyone is.
What do you mean?
So if you're interested in seeing my previous season picks, you can check out the description down below. I did also try my hand at Celebrity Big Brother as well as Canada, but clearly my analytical skills aren't so strong there, even if I was like one Ricky Williams decision away from Lolo Jones being declared a Big Brother winner. Imagine that timeline existing. Oh wait, Danielle lost. Anyway, this video is going to be a big talk about Big Brother 21, so strap in. I'll be talking about the 4 players in this cast who I think stand the best chance to win this season after the first week. But I want to change things up a little bit, and before I get to talking about all of these players, I want to spend a handful of minutes, a good amount of minutes, explaining to you guys just how I get to picking the players I pick on any given season. The qualities I look for that to me oftentimes lead to successful Big Brother players. There are 4 important traits that I think any of you out there who are looking to either analyze the players, the game, or even one day be on Big Brother should consider when taking into consideration the greater game at hand. Because this show is a game and you want to win the game, and I think these 4 tenets are the pillars of creation toward a more noteworthy Big Brother player. The first quality I look for in a player to do well on Big Brother, and maybe even on Survivor, is emotional intelligence. What is that? Well, you can Google it, but I will save you a moment and do it for you. It is the capacity to be aware of, to control, and to express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and with empathy. To break that down, you need to be self-aware. What are you feeling, and why are you feeling that way? You need self-management to be able to manage your behavior and your emotions with intent and purpose, to have social awareness of what others are feeling and why they're feeling that way, and social management, which is the ability to address other people's emotions, again, with intent and purpose. If a player can at all demonstrate this to an effective degree, you're already way above the rest. I think a lot of people have decent-ish emotional intelligence, both in the game and in real life, maybe not so much on social media, but the trick is in the capacity to remain vigilant. It is very, very easy, and I think a lot of people, including myself, will prey to this, to slip up and forget to manage someone, including yourself, and then suddenly bad jury management gets brought up, and here we go down that rabbit hole. But tying into that first quality, my first contender is the most obvious one that pretty much everyone picked when I asked you guys on social media who you would put in your top 4. It's Tommy.
Welcome to Broadway!
I don't want them to know that I'm a Big Brother superfan. I don't want them to think that I'm a threat.
Tommy, to me, is far and away the biggest contender this season. To me, he feels like he's already the winner, like he's on Survivor with that hashtag winners edit. Tommy has the strongest sense of emotional awareness in the game of just about anyone I can recall in recent memory, as well as the next 3 traits that I will be getting to in a second. Tommy is situated well with every player. His name is rarely brought up as threatening. Yeah, he's well liked, but just about everyone views him as either an asset or a friend, and he's not really close to being near the top of anyone's hit list. I expect Tommy to go very far, assuming he doesn't get blindsided by like Christy somehow, given their relationship goes beyond the game. And I'm at the point right now where I'm trying to figure out not how he wins the game, but how he loses it. That's a good place to be, by the way. But back to qualities that I look for, the first being emotional intelligence, while the second quality is tactical awareness. This trait involves the ability to know your role and have positional awareness in the game, enabling you to make smart decisions on a moment-to-moment basis. Tactics are basically a series of steps designed to solve a problem. Think of Dan's funeral in Big Brother 14 and how he went about employing a series of steps to solve his predicament and not get evicted that week. Dan was aware of the players around him and the role he played in the current setup of the house. He was aware of what steps needed to be taken to increase his odds of surviving. When I look at individual players, I take into consideration how aware they appear to be of these choices. Are they making step-by-step tactical choices to set themselves up well for the future? Are they solving problems or maybe just creating them? And so my second contender is someone who really hasn't created any problems, I think, but I think may need to work on solving a few others, namely their position in the house. That person is Nicole.
What you working on, honey?
My Pegasus drawing.
Oh, very nice. It came out really well.
Thanks so much, Dad. And thanks for always hanging these up. I appreciate it.
Nicole is my under-the-radar social butterfly who, similar to Tommy, is well-liked by everyone in the house, doesn't really seem to be anywhere close to the top of anyone's hit list, and is included in many different people's game talks. Nicole is also very empathetic, but also has a pretty good tactical knack too. Going into the season, I thought she would be in way over her head, but I really don't think that now. I think she's going to be underestimated and could slip through the cracks once this big alliance crumbles, assuming she hopefully doesn't get targeted first or just get unlucky with the wrong person winning a veto. She is very plucky, she's likable, she's intelligent. I just hope she can find the required numbers in the early mid-game to carry her through to the end, because otherwise she may become expendable to a greater movement. She's been somewhat on the outside looking in so far, and I see a lot of potential for her to do some damage and maybe seize the day if she can just make those tactical choices and play her cards right. The third quality I look for is one that has been rather minimal for the first 2 contenders, and it is simply threat level. How threatening is the player to everyone else in their cast? Because Big Brother, lest we forget, is a social game, and if you appear threatening to others, they will take you out sooner than later for fear of losing to you in the end. I look at a guy like Jackson, and I just know most of the other players will view him as a big threat at some point, and his odds of winning are probably pretty dang low because of it. But perhaps he's shown a strong sense of tactical awareness to mitigate that threat. Well, I'm not sure about his emotional intelligence. He comes off very strong and heavy-handed in many conversations, and it's a bit one-dimensional. A low threat level oftentimes keeps players in the game by default because they sit toward the bottom of the proverbial totem pole, the hit list, and thus don't need to be dealt with right away by almost anyone. Good players, however, can intentionally reduce their threat level, such as with the Brigade, 4 strong guys who should have been targets but instead banded together to lower how threatening they appeared in the house to everyone else. That said, my third contender is one that has a very low threat level, and I suspect will make it far by, again, by default. Though I do wonder if they're going to have the strongest bonds with at least a majority of the jury by the end. Yeah, you know what, before I get to the name, I just want to quickly say maybe I'm thinking too far ahead with this. Anyone want to hazard a guess as to who my third contender is?
It's Hayleigh. You. It's Hayleigh. It's Hayleigh. It's Hayleigh. It's Hayleigh.
Hayleigh.
Please be
Hayleigh.
Hayleigh.
No, it's not.
Holy crap, cowboy, you got it. It is Beth. Holly. It's Holly. It's Holly. Yep. Buckle up, guys, because we are going on a wine safari, and even if we get eaten by sedated lions or wild gazelles, whatever it is they have over there in California, Holly is guiding us to the drunken land of wine and cheese.
I'm Holly. I am a sommelier in Los Angeles. I don't think the city folk that are gonna be thrown into the Big Brother house are gonna have that country strength, mind or body. And I am not going to walk away without $500,000.
Look, in truth, I think Holly has a really low threat level and just by default is going to be close to the end game because so many shields are positioned around her. I don't actually feel like she's been doing a lot to actively make this strategy work to her advantage, but that doesn't mean it won't. Holly is kind of that early game furniture we like to make fun of, but then look at Kaycee or Angela last season. Actually, you know, that's my biggest fear with her. She's a bit like Angela, who was the Ice Queen, but then also probably loses to everyone in front of the jury for being said queen. Slay. Or something. But I think Holly is actually warmer than the Icy Queen I'm envisioning. I think she's a far bigger threat too, and I think she's well aware of what's needed to win, mostly being on good terms with everyone. She wants to be liked. And even though I'm not super high on her capabilities, I do think she is a cut above most of the rest, which gets you pretty far on Big Brother. And so the last quality I look for, arguably the most important quality, is straight up respectability. How good is a player at gaining the respect of their peers? It is slightly difficult to anticipate this after only 1 week. It's like trying to predict where a Song of Ice and Fire character arc is going to end. Will they be loved, hated, or mysteriously revived in book 3 but not in the show because what the hell? Let me ask you this. How respected are you among your peers? That's a pretty huge question to ask yourself. Most of the time, the answer doesn't matter all that much, but in politics, it really does, and Big Brother is highly political. If you get to the final 2 and you're not that respected, at least by a majority of the jury, you won't win. Many players just can't win because they lack this one quality. They're not respectable enough. They're not reputable enough. They're not important enough. I struggled more than usual with my 4th contender. I have several names I want to bring up, but in the end, my 4th contender for the win is... You know what? Screw it. Let's manifest the W. It's Christy.
I've been manifesting the thought of me, let alone being on Big Brother, but winning it since I'm 16 years old. It's completely impossible for me not to win. I see myself as a winner.
I couldn't believe it either. Christy is the unexpected glue holding a lot of these strange bonds together. She is very central to everyone, and even though she has a big mouth and loves to talk, I very much believe in her game awareness. I think I have been vastly underestimating and underrating her time in the game thus far, and I've really begun to think that I shouldn't be. Nor should we be surprised if she somehow gets far. The crazy thing is that unlike my other 3 contenders, I don't know if I see Christy going to the end. Her path feels a little chaotic and messy. She's empathetic and very in touch with her emotions and others, but also kind of self-centered at times, which throws me off. She very much has her head in the game and is really well connected with a lot of players, but do those bonds hold up under pressure? By the time they do break, because they will, this is Big Brother, will Christy be in a good spot and be capable of adapting? I kind of feel like she will on both accounts. I also think Christy has been able to become respectable in this group of people. She will have the respect of her peers if she were ever in front of the jury. Now, of course, I say this and then watch as she goes to be the final 2 loser. She's definitely my oddball 4th pick, where I could have picked like Sam instead of her, who I think just isn't nearly as tactical as I like, whistle nut and all, or Nick, who's just a little bit too voracious for my liking. It could be Cliff, who is a super fan and he's quiet and composed, but will he be able to squeak into the finals under any circumstances? He's going to be such a threat by the end in just about any scenario, assuming he even gets to that point. And then we have Bella, who I kind of feel like is a little bit even more chaotic than Christy. She is in my upper half of contenders, but I'm not sure she knows what to do with this wildfire that she's brewing. Annalise has no voice. I don't think Kat stands a good chance in any scenario. Meanwhile, Jess and Kemi are too far on the outs, too early in the game for me to feel comfortable picking them on a strategic level to go the distance the whole 99 days. I mean, so is Dan Giesling, so you never truly know.
So this New Year's, I vowed to be more empathetic. That didn't even last 2 weeks. I think I'm just gonna be myself, and that's what's gonna really set me apart. I'm ready for you, big brother.
And then you have Ovi and David. One of them might come back, but previously evicted players who are not even in the game right now are a very difficult sell to me, although I do think that both Ovi and David have a lot of promise that could be built on from the early game shambles they found themselves in. I think if either of them come back, there is certainly a place for them to move forward and not just be re-evicted right away. If they can play their cards right, I do like their chances. I don't know if I can bank on them at this point in time. Regardless, those are my true contenders to win Big Brother 21. I feel like this season almost feels more unorthodox than any of the previous seasons that I've covered. These are also the 4 qualities I usually look for when analyzing any given player on Big Brother. I already asked you guys on my channel who I think your top 4 are. Again, feel free to remind me of those 4 in the comment section down below. Feel free to come back months from now and laugh in my face at how wrong I was with my 4 contenders. Also, feel free to let me know what you thought about the 4 qualities that I mentioned that make up a good Big Brother player, what you thought about them, if you have anything else you want to throw out there. Either way, my name is still Peridiam saying thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to manifest your W for BB22, and I will see you in the next one once I remind myself that, you know what, Khal Drogo did only last 1 season, 1 book, and he was very, very one-dimensional.
From up here, I can see all of Aquaman's domain. Hey, it's the fish! Plus, I even got the fishies to watch my back. I will rule this house.
By a vote of 2 to 1, Jack, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.